Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Everybody, please welcome the American Badass. This is Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
I don't want to be called Jerry Valeria. I want to be called Brains Valeri today. I want to be.
Come get these hands from Brains Valeri. You know what, Jared? That was one of my real highlights from the show last night. And I've got, I don't have notes. I just have an outline of the show last night.
I love that Braun Strowman has shown real range as far as comedy goes. I mean, he can be the badass that throws people through walls, and he can kill people and be taken seriously at a moment's notice. But he can also be Braun Strowman and joke around or come out with a giant cello or bass or whatever it was and hit whatever it was and hit Elias with it. He can goof around and it's perfect. He's very good. He's more than just a big monster.
He's very versatile.
Vince McMahon has a real special guy on his hands, I think.
Let's just hope we don't fumble him, because I feel like he might get fumbled, but man, he's on fire right now for sure.
Yeah. And this has just been his year, since last WrestleMania, they botched him. This year, I like the whole Braun Strowman versus the Bar. I would like to see him take them on by himself, but I think they've built some real intrigue as to who's going to be the surprise guy.
Yeah, and not giving it away last night was the right move, and I was really worried they were going to.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, before we start with Raw, let me just, I had a rough relationship with Raw last night, and not because of the quality of the show. The quality of the show I would describe as fine, maybe even good.
You started later than I do.
I started when the show ended, and I wake up at 4 a.m. But listen, I was real excited to watch Raw. It was the Raw before WrestleMania. We have every intention to think it's a good show. And Brittany was having car problems last night that resulted, I'll just keep it real long story short. I had to be running around town with her all last night. And I didn't get started on Raw until about 10 o'clock, but I did the right thing. I watched the show in its entirety, no fast forwarding whatsoever. Some stuff may not have gotten my full attention. Like, it seemed like Balor and Rollins were having a great match that, I'll be honest, I was kind of eating dinner and doing other stuff during. But I watched everything.
What time did you end the show?
Right around midnight, my time, which is 1 your time.
Well, it's funny. That's usually when I'm done with it. Normally for me, my time. I'm usually done about 11:35. 11:38 my time every Monday night.
Yeah, it was just, and plus I only had 90 minutes of sleep the night before. So yeah, but you know what? I'm feeling okay today and I'm ready to talk about it. There wasn't a whole lot of forward progression. A lot of stuff kind of maintained, but it maintained positively. And for example, nothing really new happened at the start of the show with Angle, Rousey, Stephanie, and Triple H. But they just kind of maintained. What do you think of that opening segment?
Well, here's what I'll say about it. It's good for what it is. The hype with the Ronda Rousey, it's going to be very hard for it to ever be bigger than it is right now. She has to improve vastly for it to be bigger than it is right now. Because what she's doing is passable. Everyone gives her a pass because she brings a lot of star power. But I don't take her seriously as like a full-time wrestler yet because she's still clunking a lot of stuff. She's not selling me on her interviews. And when she took the bump through the table, I didn't mind the actual bump, but what I minded was she was like wide awake. She goes through the table and she's just like, oh, no biggie. She was just like laying there.
Yeah, I mean, she was reacting like she just took 5 Superman punches from Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Like she was totally fine. My problem is the more time that goes by, the more I'm getting worried Ronda's not going to get there on the mic.
My God. Hold on a second. I'm going to kill somebody today.
Do you need to take a call?
No, so I had an interview that the guy never called me. He stiffed me for 30 minutes.
Oh, you got
and
stiffed?
My wife, I got stiffed. He never called. And then my wife coming in 20 minutes to go to the parent-teacher conference. Guess who just pulled in and is texting me relentlessly? 20 minutes early.
Do you want to handle it? Do you want to
start talking? I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah.
I'm leaving the setup, and I'm going to go get in a fight with my wife in the parking lot, and then I'll be right back. Son of a bee.
So, this is, I believe, Post to Post fans are probably aware, this has potential to be amazing. The feud of the year. What was that? Whose hand is that? What am I seeing? Oh, that's my hand. Sorry about that, guys. The feud of the year in 2016. Oh my gosh. Valeri. And now it looks like it might be reigniting right here in front of our eyes on Post to Post. I know poor Jerry has had a tough time today. He was supposed to do an interview that I'm not positive he was thrilled about doing, which I think a lot of people and whoever's watching this in radio can probably say that's #relatable. And I didn't know he got stiffed. Hey, bud.
I bought myself 8 minutes. I'm going to kill.
If we got 8 minutes?
I've got 8 minutes. You're going to have to bring it home without me. It's the road to WrestleMania. And if I'm not getting surgery and high on drugs one day, I've got my family and Joe Diffie ruining everything the next.
Okay. Well, we got you for 7.5 minutes. Let's hit the big
Joe
points.
Diffie.
We'll cover him tomorrow when we have more time.
Son of a bee.
Let's talk about let's start at the top. Let's start with the main event segment.
Sure.
You got retweeted by Vince Russo this morning. Tell us about that.
Well, I kind of trolled him a little bit. I can't remember exactly what he said, paraphrasing. He wrote how if he had booked Steve Austin to give 5 stunners to somebody, much like Roman Reigns gave 5 Superman punches, and then the person he gave the stunners to gets up and delivers their finisher to Stone Cold, he'd have been out of a job.
Correct. And go ahead.
Then somebody asked him, well, how would you have booked it? And before anyone could reply, I was like, first, at Roman Reigns hits Brock with 5 Superman punches. Then at Brock Lesnar, F5s him. Then at David Arquette wins the championship.
And he responded with like 1,000,000 times better than what they actually did.
Right. He didn't get defensive at all. He kept going with the joke. I thought that was funny.
So where are you at with the Superman punches last night?
I'm sick of anyone's finishers not working. Nobody's finisher works anymore.
I mean,
everyone's kicking out of finishers, and there's now secondary finishers and tertiary finishers, and it just doesn't mean what it used to mean. You know, when Rick Rude hit you with the Rude Awakening, you were done. When Ted DiBiase put you in the $1 Million Dream, you were out. You got a DDT from Jake Roberts, match over. Leg drop, good night. So on and so forth. Now, everybody's kicking out everything, and nothing means a thing.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? You're just right. Let me give you a little bit of what makes it somewhat different in 2018. You're right that there are tertiary finishers, there's secondary finishers. Roman Reigns has I can think of at least 2 or 3 finishers that he uses.
He has 3. He has the Superman punch, the spear, and then his third finisher is kicking out of everybody's finisher.
And then, so the one that we're talking about is essentially a punch. So if you make it seem like Brock kicks out of 5 punches, I'm okay with that. But they're not even good Superman punches. I've been taught how to throw a real Superman punch for Thai boxing, and he doesn't even do it. He doesn't even do it right. His form's terrible. He looks like he's shooting a bow and arrow. Well, the point is, if you make it seem like Brock kicked out of 5 punches, I'm okay with it. However, when you make it seem like kicked out of 5 of Roman's finishers, I don't like it.
He didn't get punched like this. He got punched like this, and that this dumb thing makes a difference, because
Does make a difference.
This is, someone gives you a DDT, that's one thing, but when Jake the Snake Roberts starts going like this with his finger, somebody's going to bed, and that's I miss that.
Lightning round. What did you think of Cena and his promo last night?
I was glad the Undertaker didn't come out. One, it was in the second hour, and that's a show ender. Two, it convinced me the badass is showing up, because they're not tipping their hat to it. There's no bells, there's no gongs. He's riding out on a motorcycle, and he's doing it to fan Cena. Cena's going to be at ringside for probably, I bet they milk it for like 90 minutes of just cutting the Cena at ringside, and then eventually they take care of that by bringing out the Undertaker. I don't know if there's a match or if they'll just have a fight. Maybe that, I don't know. But if you're going to have Taker's last match or potentially last match, you'd think you'd want to hype it as such, but maybe that means it's not going to be.
Yeah, I'm not sure that 34 is going to be his last match. I think that his last match will get the hype. There's
no way he's not showing up, though.
I would like to think that he is. But is Cena even going to... What I thought Cena was implying was... Did he say he was going to be there either way?
Yeah. He's going as a fan. He's going... I mean, that was a cool promo. He's going as a fan. He's going to be sitting in the front row. I mean, it's going to be like when Bob Orton got involved because Jinder Mahal dragged him over the fence. Like, he's going to be in that position at WrestleMania.
Do you want to keep going, or do you want to hop off?
I have to hop off, and I'm very sorry to post universe. But trust me, I'm going to be screaming. I'm going to be screaming at somebody today. Maybe not my family, but Joe Diffie for sure. Well, him and his '90s mullet. We'll talk about him tomorrow.
F Joe Diffie, but go take care. You got stuff to do with your family. It's okay.
He's gonna get these hands.
I'll fill everybody in here real quick. I'll bring it home. It's okay.
Thank you, Rob, and I'm so glad you stayed up and watched Raw last night, or we'd be totally screwed.
Yeah, we would be. So, thank you, Jer, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, I'm out.
So, yeah, Jerry, he let me know last night he might have an issue this morning with the podcast. He was supposed to do this interview, which now I feel much more comfortable saying, with some country artist none of us have ever heard of, that he didn't really seem thrilled about doing. And of course, like it always goes in the world of radio, guy stiffs him. Guy's supposed to call him at 10:15 his time, or I'm sorry, I think it was 10 o'clock his time, and never calls. Jerry gives him to 10:15. We decided to start the podcast, or I think he even went even longer or whatever it was. So yeah, he's having a rough day. Then he's like, listen, I've got to get out of here around 10:50 this morning. I've got parent teacher conferences with for Evan. And I was like, that's cool. We should be able to go 9:20 to 9:50. We can make that work. It's a half an hour, but it looks like his wife jumped the gun a bit, and it's no big deal. There were some more notes that I wanted to just mention from Raw last night. One thing I thought was most interesting is the booking of, especially over these past few weeks, and most notably last night, the Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax gimmick here. I'm really surprised how bullying they are being from the heel, which, like I said, I think I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm surprised. I do want my heels to be bullies. That's totally okay, especially if they get their comeuppance in the end. That's kind of the way wrestling works. Alexa Bliss is being a great, great bully towards Nia Jax, although I am just surprised how much they're pushing the fat button with Nia. That's not a road they usually take. Admittedly, they don't usually have women that look like Nia, but I am surprised how hard they're pushing that button. They even had the word like blubber appear as a graphic on the screen last night. And I was like, wow. And again, I'm not complaining or saying it's too much. I'm just saying I'm really surprised how much they're hitting that button with so many body image things happening with the women's revolution, with hashtag Me Too, with hashtag Time's Up. It just seems like they'd want to stay really far away from making fat jokes, but the angle is Nia's fat. And I was just really surprised with how they were handling that. We mentioned, I guess we covered the Braun Strowman stuff. That was maybe one of my favorite portions of last night. I'm glad they didn't actually reveal who the partner is. I still don't know if there's going to be a legit partner or what. I've also got new theories about this match that I'll reveal on our Thursday predictions episode. Let's see. Elias went over Slater. You know, I made a note. Elias has music now that he played after he won. Either I have not noticed he's had music or that's new. If someone can fill me in on the post show, let me know if I've just been missing that or if that's new. Bailey versus Sonya, that had the Banks stuff at the end. I wish that they would be saving this Banks and Bailey stuff for more of a match that's going to pay off instead of the Battle Royal, the Fabulous Moolah WrestleMania Battle Royal. Why don't I just call it the Godfather Battle Royal, the Ultimate Pimp Battle Royal, the Slickster Battle Royal. Hardy versus Goldust. You know, they haven't really talked a whole lot about the deletion match since it happened. They referenced it a few times last night, but I don't know what the outcome. I hope something major happens with Bray Wyatt. I don't need a whole character reformation, but I hope this doesn't come back to no fanfare. Like, I hope that they treat it as something serious. I kind of dug Hardy cutting off Goldust last night. It was better than any time he's ever cut off Bray Wyatt, in my opinion. Let's see. Oh, they made fun of radio people last night a little bit. They mentioned that Nia Jax had a face for radio. They even gave it graphics. I'm over here. I am looking at Valeri. I think he's a handsome man. I may have more of one of those. Let me look at this. What do you think? I may have a Nia Jax face more than a Jerry Valeri face. I'm not sure. I made a note that even though Cena's doing this whole thing by himself, for as much crap as he's gotten from serious wrestling fans over the past 10 years, if not more, the guy never cuts a bad promo. Cena doesn't cut a bad promo. If you disagree with me, fight me. I'll fight over this. What else? Oh, you know, I have another fun note here. Has anything made less of an impact than the Mixed Match Challenge? I mean, I know they're getting their promos in every show or whatever, but holy cow, I feel like no one's talking about this. It is having no impact on the main roster. I didn't realize it was already the finals. Miz mentioned in his promo that it was the finals. I assume that's tonight. I watched the first two just because I felt obligated to, and then I haven't even thought about it since. So, all right. Sorry for a weird episode today, but I thought, you know, better this than nothing, especially with the last Raw before WrestleMania. Help me out on the post show. What do you think about what we talked about? Especially the Elias thing. Have I just been missing news from him? Oh, and the big thing. Let us know what you think about the finishers. With Brock, I don't want to say kicking out because he didn't kick out, but he seemed to be unfazed by 5 of Roman's Superman punches. You know, it's like that Vince Russo mentality. Is the championship mean does it mean you're the best in the business, or is it just a prop? Probably somewhere in the middle. Is a finisher, is it supposed to be the finisher every single time, or are you supposed to kick out of it once in a while? Are you supposed to kick out of 5 of them? Does it make Brock look stronger? I don't know what the right answer is there. I just know 5 seemed like a lot, but it's also a punch. And not even a very good one at that, as Jerry pointed out. Jerry is the Taekwondo expert. I've been on the receiving end of one of his Superman Dave's double from Wendy's throws, and my goodness, he's got quite an arm. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one of Jerry Valeri's Superman punches. I'll wrap it up. I'm tired of hearing my own voice. Thank you guys for watching. We should have a normal episode tomorrow with all of Valeri. None of his, what was it, Joe Duffy? Did anyone catch the name of that guy? Oh, man, it sounds like Jerry's having a rough day. Hopefully, Evan's got a good report from school. Or if nothing else, hopefully he's got a funny report from school. For myself, the Rob, wrapping up today's episode. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another more normal episode of Post to Post. See you guys.